They saw what you never said and still stayed. Your silence was louder than confession. They finally heard it. What you buried to survive, they now hold with reverence. They didn't flinch. They folded your truth into their heartbeat. The parts you hid became the reason they chose you. You feared they'd run. They knelt instead. Someone now knows what broke you, and it made them love deeper. Your secrets didn't scare them. They set their soul on fire. They looked into your truth and saw divinity, not damage. You were never hiding. You were waiting for someone holy enough. They saw the storm behind your smile and still called it home. You weren't too broken. You were too sacred to fake it. Your rawness became the altar they now worship at. They didn't pity you. They praised your survival. Your pain was prophecy in disguise. They now understand your distance wasn't coldness, it was protection. They walked through your wounds like scripture. You never needed to be perfect, just honest. They stayed for the silence between your words. They saw the ghost behind your grin. You never lied. They just didn't know what to ask. Your truth made them ache in all the right places. They didn't just forgive your past, they blessed it. What broke you built their reverence. You thought they'd leave. Instead, they opened a door. They see now why your eyes never smiled fully. Your secrets were not sins, they were sacred. The truth didn't break the bond, it baptized it. You were not hard to love, just hard to reach. They weren't sent to rescue, just to stay. Your mess was never too much. They kissed the place you never let anyone see. You are not shame. You are sanctuary. They now see what silence cost you. The version of you hide is the one they came for. They touched your fear and felt holy. You were never cold, just guarding the sacred. They read the pain behind your politeness. You feared exposure, they brought devotion. They love you most where the light doesn't reach. They found the truth you couldn't say out loud. Your truth was the key that unlocked them too. Someone held your story like glass, not burden. They didn't run. They bowed. You are not ruined. You are rare. They didn't fall for the mask. They fell for the ache. They saw you unravel and called it art. You feared being known, but they were made to know. They watched you tremble and reached, not recoiled. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more. What you thought would destroy the love became its foundation. They recognized the grief behind your grace. You were never a burden. You were the revelation. They didn't come to fix, only to finally see. Your heartbreak made them holy. They saw you at your lowest and loved from there. You don't have to hide anymore. Someone stayed. They now understand why your hands always shook. What once scared them now stirs worship. They are not afraid of the dark you carry. Your pain was a map, not a mistake. They held your shadow like sacred text. You weren't rejected. You were recognized. They didn't need words. They heard the tremble. Your rawness awakened something ancient in them. You were never a test. You were the truth. They chose you with full knowing. They know now your strength came at a cost. They found the place you thought unlovable and stayed there. Your silence held more honesty than anyone else's vows. They saw your haunted places and lit a candle. You weren't invisible. You were being protected for someone sacred. They finally realized why you couldn't breathe around pretending. Your pain didn't repel them. It rooted them. You didn't scare them. You sanctified them. You were never asking to be fixed, only met. They know now. You've been carrying more than your share. They now see you through God's lens, not their ego. They couldn't see your worth until they saw your wounds. You weren't meant to be understood, just held. Someone just learned the story behind your silence. They know now why you flinched at softness. What broke you brings them closer. They finally love the parts you hated. You are not cold, you are careful. Your pain made space for this holy love. They didn't expect the truth, but they honored it. Your scars didn't need makeup. They needed meaning. They heard what your voice was too tired to say. You didn't break anything. You revealed everything. They didn't see shame. They saw survival. You thought you'd be too much, but you were the match. Someone cried when they saw what you endured alone. You aren't a mess. You're a miracle in motion. You are not a chapter to skim. You're scripture to study. They stopped looking for answers. They found you. You didn't ruin anything. You made it real. You are now being seen, not scanned. They now know why you laugh so softly. They were ready for the story, not just the smile. What you confessed didn't close their heart, it cracked it open. They want the truth, not the version you polish. You are being loved in the very place you feared exposure. They looked at your truth and looked closer. Someone just fell in love with your honesty. They found the holy in your hell. You are not a secret. They're telling the stars about you. You hid to survive. You loved to rise. Your soul was too loud to stay hidden. They know the ache now, and they're not leaving. They love your story with the light still missing. Someone just forgave what you never confessed. You are not a wound. You are the healing. They listened with their spirit, not just their ears. Your pain made them pause. Your truth made them pray. They finally understand the weight in your eyes. You aren't the shame. You're the sacred. They don't need a reason to stay. You are reason enough. The worst part of you, it reminded them of home. You are not empty. You are ancient and full. They found poetry in your pain. What broke, you made them better. They now know the cost of your gentleness. Your cracks let them see God. You never needed fixing, just someone who listened longer. They honored the dark before the dawn. You didn't fall apart. You revealed the truth. They wept over what you survived. Your name carries more than sound. It carries storms. They held your confession like gold. Your honesty made them holy. They found heaven in your hidden places. They saw the hurt and hugged it. You didn't hide to deceive. You hid to breathe. Your voice trembled, and they called it sacred. You are not the pain. You are what rose from it. They loved the version of you who couldn't pretend anymore. You gave them truth, and they gave you freedom. They read your silence like scripture. They held space for the shadow in you. They didn't back away, they bowed. Someone is ready to stay, even here. You didn't fail at love. You were failed. Your story ends in light because they saw your dark. They know now you are the miracle. You didn't ask to be seen, but you are. They see the real you, and love has only grown. The truth revealed everything, and they stayed. You are safe now. Even the truth is safe now. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They found your truth, and it didn't scare them. It sanctified them. Your scars didn't ruin you. They revealed your holiness. They didn't turn away. They finally turned toward. They thought they knew you. Now they know your soul. The part you hid was the part they were sent to love. They saw what broke you and still reached for your hand. Your truth made them weep, not out of fear, but recognition. They didn't run from the truth. They bowed to it. You're not your damage. You are your rising. They saw your shadow and still chose to stay. Someone finally sees you without explanation. The truth you feared would push them away pulled them closer. They felt your loneliness before they knew your name. You never had to hide. You had to heal. They saw the wound and called it beautiful. What you covered in shame, they call sacred. They understand now why you kept your distance. Your silence finally made sense to them. They weren't sent to fix you, only to honor you. They read your truth like scripture, not scandal. You didn't need to be perfect, just real. They didn't flinch. They fell deeper. Your truth didn't disqualify you, it crowned you. They saw the child behind your armor. Someone just realized you've been surviving, not living. They didn't hear pain in your story, they heard prophecy. They didn't pity your past. They respected your endurance. The moment they knew everything, they whispered, "I'm staying." You thought the truth would ruin the bond. It revealed it. They didn't fall for the version you pretended to be. They saw the fear behind your strength and humbled them. What you saw as broken, they saw as sacred design. Someone is loving the part of you that once hid from mirrors. They saw the storms and still wanted to walk with you. They learned your name and then your sorrow. They stayed for both. You are no longer pretending. You are being held. Your mask didn't fool them. Your eyes told the truth. You feared they'd leave when they knew, but they're closer than ever. What you buried, heaven just uncovered through them. They don't see you as damage. They see you as divine evidence. They were drawn to what you tried to silence. The real you, the fragile, fierce, forgotten you, is finally safe. You never had to explain your ache. They recognized it. The heaviness you carry is why they're kneeling. They know now. Your silence wasn't cold. It was sacred. They touched the place you thought no one could reach. Your hidden truth became their holy mission. You feared rejection, but all they gave was reverence. They didn't ask for the easy version. They asked for you. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They found the version of you even you were afraid to meet. They saw your truth and kissed it like a wound they'd waited for. What you called unlovable, they called home. They learned everything and still whispered, I choose you. Someone just realized your hiding place and made it holy. They met your story in its rawest form and adored it. Your shame didn't scare them. It broke them open too. They now understand the trembling in your smile. You never lied. You only feared the light. What you buried to protect yourself, they've gently unearthed. Someone is kneeling in front of the truth you kept buried. They are here to walk with your truth, not run from it. They felt your silence calling for a witness. Your darkness didn't frighten them. It invited them in. What was once hidden is now holy ground. They're not afraid of your edges. They came for your depth. The real you is the only version they ever wanted. Someone now sees the war you've been fighting alone. Your truth doesn't scare them. It confirms you were always the one. They saw through the laughter and loved the ache behind it. What you thought would scare them away made them weep in gratitude. They see now you're not broken. You're blooming. Someone is grateful for every scar you tried to erase. They didn't come to edit your story. They came to honor it. You are not too much. You are too true to deny. They aren't running. They're reaching. You are being loved where you once hid. They're not confused. They're reverent. Someone is staring at your truth and calling it beautiful. You're no longer hiding behind strength. You're held in softness. The version of you that survived, that's who they've chosen. You aren't ashamed. You're awakening. They saw what you lost and loved what remained. They didn't just meet your smile. They met your silence. You don't need to explain anymore. Your truth speaks louder. They finally understand why you pulled away. Someone sees your armor and calls it sacred. You are not a burden. You are a miracle. They found the part of you you thought unworthy. They don't want to rescue you. Just sit with you. The tears you never showed them, they felt anyway. You are not a secret anymore. You are sacred text. They now understand why you stopped trusting. Someone is falling in love with what you almost erased. Your truth is not ugly, it's holy. They aren't looking away. They're seeing you for the first time. You are not the pain. You are the proof. Someone is thanking God they found the real you. The truth didn't end the connection, it deepened it. What you feared would destroy love is exactly what revealed it. Your confession didn't break the bond. It baptized it. Someone met your brokenness and called it breathtaking. The truth didn't push them away, it brought them home. You were never unlovable, just unseen. They're choosing your honesty over illusion. You're not being exposed. You're being embraced. What you carried alone is now shared. You are not a mistake. You are a message. They didn't expect perfection, just presence. You told the truth, and it saved them too. The tears you feared are now making room for love. You aren't being judged. You're being welcomed. They didn't love who you pretended to be. They loved who you are. You're not disqualified. You're divine. Someone sees your survival as sacred. They didn't recoil. They reached deeper. You weren't asking for pity, just permission to be real. They see your story, and they're still here. What you whispered to God, they now hold in their hands. You're not too late. You're right on time for love. They met your shadows with light, not judgment. They see you clearly, and they still choose. You're not broken glass. You're stained glass. What you once hid is what they now cherish. Someone is in awe of the truth you survived. Your voice cracked, and they called it music. You confessed, and they didn't flinch. You didn't scare them off. You drew them in. They held your truth like a newborn flame. You are being loved, not despite your truth, but because of it. The past didn't make you unworthy. It made you unshakable. You are not unraveling. You are unfolding. They came to stay, even after knowing. You didn't break the spell. You deepened the sacred. What was hidden now blooms in open air.